talked about like vaginal delivery. We talked about like the C-sections.
Yeah, we've had the baby. Now we kind of like go into that next part. So, what to expect in those first like couple of hours. Sometimes a little more, but typically like those next like 2 hours or so.
Yeah.
As you're like heading towards postpartum.
Right.
That's what we're kind of going to talk about today. Hey there, amazing listeners. Before we dive into today's episode, we wanted to share something exciting with you.
That's right. It's all about the Laborhood merch shop. And we've got some fantastic custom merchandise that we think that you will love.
When you shop with us, you not only get some fly gear to show your Laborhood pride, but also help us keep this podcast going strong.
We've carefully selected some items that we think that you will adore, from comfy t-shirts to stylish accessories. There's literally something for everyone.
And the best part, you can find all these fantastic goodies on our website. Just look for shop in the menu.
It's more than just merchandise. It's a way for you to support our mission in supporting maternal health care.
So whether you're sipping from your Laborhood water bottle or sporting one of our teas, you're making a statement and helping us create a safer and better birthing experience for all.
Check it out today, and thank you so much for being part of the Laborhood gang.
Now, let's get back to today's episode.
Hey, guys.
Hey, everybody. We are back with the Laborhood Podcast. I'm Briea, one of your co-hosts, with my lovely friend here.
Hi, I'm Shay. I am your other co-host of the Laborhood Podcast.
Yes, we are season 2. I can't believe we're already. It's surreal. Anyway, if you're new here, first of all, welcome. We're so glad you decided to join us. Whether somebody told you about us, you were scrolling online, you were like, "Ooh, these girls, let me see what they're talking about." However you got here, thank you for joining us. Like I said, if you're new here, if you don't know what the Laborhood Podcast is about, us too, we are Black birth workers. I am a nationally certified inpatient obstetrics registered nurse.
I am also a nationally certified registered nurse obstetrically. I am also a board certified nurse midwife.
There it is. And so here on our podcast, on the Laborhood, we talk about all things labor.
Everything from clothes to complete, and all the nitty bits in between.
All the stuff in between. We talk about the stuff that people might not mention, people might not want to talk about, but we talk about them here so that our mamas and our listeners can go and have the most educated and informed birth experience possible.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah. That's what we do. So today's episode is I think last episode we kind of talked about
like vaginal delivery. We talked about like the C-sections.
Yeah. We've had the baby. Now we kind of like go into that next part. So, what to expect in those first like couple of hours. Sometimes a little more, but typically like those next like 2 hours or so.
Yeah.
As you're like heading towards postpartum.
Right.
That's what we're kind of going to talk about today. So we can kind of walk through it. So we've had a baby.
Yay. Oh my God.
Here, they crying, vigorous. It's great. If it's not, we can talk about that later too. But baby's here, baby has been born, and now we're entering into that golden hour.
Beautiful.
And I think so. Honestly, okay. So I am not very like natural, holistic in my own birth like preferences. That is not really my thing. But when we switch over to the golden hour, I get a bit like, I don't like to say crunchy granola because that's not good to say. No. Don't say that. But like I get very like, I don't know how to explain it, but like I go towards this
A
like
more like holistic approach.
very much so.
I get it though. Like that's your very first interaction with your child.
Your baby, like
Yeah.
that initial skin, like the golden hour is when we're getting that like first good like
Skin to skin. Yeah.
And honestly, this is where like I feel as though I guess it just should be like as less riffraff as possible.
Yeah.
Like if it's just been you and your partner, I feel like because that first out, it's literally just you like three.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And so it's just like I feel like you should really just like soak it in and like bask in it. That makes it like really bask in the ambiance. Yes, it's like in the ambiance.
Bask in the ambience. Basking in the ambience.
Here we went. So hard to get here. There's no telling what you
so long. Yes.
yeah to even make this baby. So we're in that golden hour. And so we, when we talk about golden hour, it's like that first hour, which as most hospitals, the standard practice is to have at least an hour of skin to skin.
Yes.
And that's for the benefit of baby and mama.
Yeah. Quickly before you dive into that though, like, have you ever had, it's more so religion based, but like when the baby comes out, nobody says a word.
Yes.
And like the dad prays over the
Yes.
baby.
I think it's beautiful.
Oh my God.
I actually had, it was years ago. I remember it was so vivid. It was a water birth.
Oh, I love that.
And I'm not mistaken, they may have been Muslim.
Okay.
I believe so. Baby came out. The room was silent. The mom was still in the water. She was baby was, fine, doing well. And dad was kind of like over her shoulder. And you could hear him like saying this prayer.
So beautiful.
And
I'm getting chill bumps.
it was so good. And then he kind of just like, he was like, okay, we're done. And we kind of just went on over. It was like that, I'd be like, okay, we're gonna have a moment of silence. And we all just kind of like stood there in like reverence of just that moment.
Right.
That first, initial moment. But it was great. I love
The golden hour.
I advocate for my patients golden hour. I will advocate for it. No nursery, you cannot cut. No. When the baby, I just bask in it. I let the patients bask in it. I think it's very pretty.
I love that. I love that.
Beautiful. I love the golden hour.
Hey there, Laborhood gang. This is Shay, one of your co-hosts of the Laborhood Podcast, and I've got something very special to share with you. An exclusive offer that is just too good to pass up. Have you ever heard of Hello Bello? If not, you are in for a treat. Let me tell you. Hello Bello is all about making parenting easier and more affordable, and we are thrilled to partner with them as Hello Bello enthusiasts. With Hello Bello, you can get high-quality baby products that won't break the bank. And here is the best part. We've got a unique code that will score you an incredible 20% off of your very first order. To snag this deal, all you have to do is use our special link and apply the code THEL at checkout. That's not all. Hello Bello was co-founded by none other than Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard, parents who believe that all babies deserve the best, and we do too. They are on a mission to make premium parenting accessible to everyone, and their products reflect that commitment. Hello Bello crafts their products with babies, parents, and the planet in mind, all while keeping prices as low as possible. So let's make some magic together on our journey to bring premium parenthood to you all. When you use our unique code, THEL, not only do you get an amazing discount, but you also support the Laborhood Podcast. Thank you so much for being a part of our amazing Laborhood gang community, and happy parenting with Hello Bello. Now let's get back to the show.
So yeah, with that golden hour, I think a lot of things happen within the golden hour, like simultaneously are happening. So like baby comes out, and as soon as I put baby on the if everything is going good, immediately, baby goes to chest.
If you were ever my nurse in L&D, Do not slap that wet baby in the chest. I wholeheartedly believe in the golden hour and this, that, and the third, but y'all better wipe that baby off before you put him on my chest.
She have this thing about her baby and wet and like touching her. But again, that's where I turn because I'm just like, oh no, it's fine. I'll just wipe it off later. Like,
No, absolutely not. I refuse to push unless there's a blanket or a towel on top of me. Okay, I am not. Now, as a provider, will I absolutely slap that wet baby?
Absolutely.
Yes. Right in between the tatas right there, okay?
There you go.
I will absolutely do it for you. However, that is not in my birth preference sheet, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Got it. Okay. Continue.
Dry out my baby, please.
Dry up my baby.
So, yeah, like, baby comes out. We, dry stem. Baby's crying. And everything's good. I put baby skin to skin with mama. And that's when we usually hit the timer on the warmer. Just to kind of start that hour, starting our Apgar scores. And that's when we have like delayed cord clamping. Now at most hospitals, we wait at least a minute, which is we're all listening for that ding ding ding. That's that minute, and let the provider know, hey, that's our minute. And that's usually when we like clamp and cut. We allow the partner to cut the cord. I've had mom cut the cord. I've had grandmothers cut the cord. I've had best friends cut. I've had whoever wants to cut the cord. And sometimes it's me. Like, nobody in the room wants to do it. Like, we don't want to do it. I don't want it. And the doctor's like, they just had to clamp. And I just, I clamp and cut. I put a diaper on, our little sting, and I put a hat on to keep them all warm and snuggly, and I hand them to you.
Yep.
So that kind of, again, that starts like that golden hour.
And then too, like, so we talked about delayed cord clamping before on like a previous episode, but you don't always have to. You can, if everybody looks good, no bleeding is happening, mom is safe, baby is safe, you can wait till the cord stops pulsating. A lot of people prefer that as long as everything is stable.
They want that thing to go completely white, which I mean, do your thing, girl.
Hey,
do your thing.
Do what you please.
Yeah.
But at least that full minute is like standard practice for every hospital.
Yeah.
Now, reasons why we might not delay for the whole. Usually we can get a full minute in.
Yeah.
But like reasons that we might not be able to do like fully delayed cord clamping is like little tight thing coming out and he don't want to breathe.
Don't remind me because I had that happen last night. So it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. So if baby is kind of acts like you don't want to give us that first good rough. We might, tell the doc as the nurse who's, doing that first initial assessment, like literally as soon as baby comes out, we're already doing it. We're already assessing. Is that baby, does it have good tone? Is it trying to take, or he's having that effort to take those good breaths? Sometimes we got to get the gurgles out at the back of the throat with our bulb syringe to kind of get it, open up that airway a little bit. Yeah. But if baby is still like not wanting to, do what we needed to do, it's kind of like, maybe we want to, maybe like the 30-second mark, we might.
It depends. Because I will wholeheartedly try and give like that full minute.
I will try.
But if your baby is as pale as it goes,
or the neck is doing like this, all right.
Okay. If the neck is just like flopping from side to side of that lobby, the baby has like no tone whatsoever. It's not trying to cry. It's not trying to grimace. It's got no reflex.
And usually by the time the nurse is locking eyes with the dog, like, hey, what you about? Hey, it's not a very like.
Oh, it's silent.
Nobody's silent.
Nobody
kind of like
nobody says anything.
I'm usually just like, while I'm trying to stem, I'm usually like, we should probably just clamp and cut. I'm just telling mama, mama, I'm gonna take baby over to the warmer just to see if I could. Because sometimes
all you have to do is take them away.
Usually, if you just lift them up and that cold air hits them, they're just like, and they scream and they're over there for like literally a minute. I just dry them off and I bring them right back on. Right, okay, they're fine. Sometimes they just need to. It's like just like a what's happening? And they just start screaming and they come around and they're just fine.
Okay. That's usually how it happens.
Yes. But we like to get baby skin to skin. Yes. Because it's so good for babies and mamas.
Yes. It promotes like their temperature regulating, their heart rate slowing back down because now they done squeezed out of this hole that was way too small. And so they like, that was a little I'm a little traumatic.
Yeah.
Is it me? Am I the drama?
Please give me back to my mom.
Oh yeah.
Please just give me back to my mom.
It helps regulate their glucose, like their sugars. It stimulates milk production for the mama.
Yeah, because it's like my baby's here, and my brain is like, let's shoot your body full of oxytocin.
Yeah.
And it's just like, rah, rah, rah. You know, that hormone just, you put that baby on, and it's like, boom.
Hey, Laborhood gang, we are so grateful for all of you to tune in and make this podcast so special.
That's right. We truly appreciate your support, and we wanted to let you know about a way you can take that support to the next level.
Absolutely. You can now become a supporter of the Laborhood Podcast by pledging a monthly reoccurring amount. You can help us continue our mission to advocate for and support birthing persons and their families.
It's super easy to do. Just visit our website at www.thelaborhoodpod.com or check the description of this episode for the link.
Your contributions help cover the cost of producing this podcast, reaching more people, and making a positive impact in maternal health care.
So, if you're a person in a position to become a supporter, we would greatly appreciate it. Every little bit goes a long way.
And remember, you're not just supporting the podcast and us, you're helping us create a safer and better birth experience for many people.
Thank you for considering it, and thank you for being a part of the Laborhood family.
Now let's dive into today's episode. Yeah.
But literally, like, and I've even had babies who, you know, even if the NICU had to come to delivery, and it's kind of like, the baby's doing good, but then you put that baby skin to skin, or it's like, you know, it's breathing really fast at the warmer, and it's like, let me just get it over here.
Yeah.
Let me just put this baby skin to skin, and it's like that baby literally just gets on the mama, because again, that's the sound, that's the smell that they've had for their entire life.
Yeah.
And it's like you live there in that familiar, literally like environment, and they're just like, oh, okay, and they just go to sleep, and it's like, okay, well,
You're fine.
they're fine.
You're fine.
Fine, they just wanted their mama.
Yeah.
It's cool. So yes, if I can keep that baby skin to skin
For like as long as possible.
I will do just that. I will do just that. And again, it's not always the mama that's doing the skin to skin.
No.
I have had, like, let's say, you know, we're doing something with mom. She's not feeling good. I've had mamas like throwing up, they don't feel well, or, you know, bleeding, and now they really don't feel well. Now their blood pressure is low, and they're just looking kind of, okay. I will look at dad and be like, do you want to do skin to skin?
Yeah.
And usually they're like, yeah, let's do it. Yeah. I'd be like, pull the chair up. You know, I get him all situated. He takes his shirt off, and I put that baby belly to belly with him. I put some blankets on him, and that baby's still getting that good skin contact.
I literally did that last night. The mama, she was a water birth. Had that baby in the water. Absolutely beautiful. But at my facility, you know, you got to get out the tub. Once the baby's out, you got to get out.
Yeah.
She had like a little bit of bleeding going on. Her only thing was, you know, like, I want to do skin to skin as long as possible. But, you know, it's very difficult to try and hold a baby between your legs and get a baby out of the tub and all of that. It's a lot happening.
Yeah.
And so we're literally like, all right, dad, strip.
Yeah. All right, take your shirt off.
Get naked, okay? We put the baby skin to skin with him just for her to get out of the tub and onto the bed. And then, like, she went right back skin to skin.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm okay. That's good for me.
You know, well, I'll get mine. You know,
yeah,
kind of thing. While she's napping later, I'll do what I need to do.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
So yeah, skin to skin. Like you said, it I can't talk. Promotes that temperature regulation, heart rate, blood sugar, respirations. It's very interesting how, like,
and you can feel it. You can feel literally the calmness set in
Maybe
the
like,
room.
It's like,
growling.
Yeah. But they were just like, okay, all right, this is cool.
I'm cool now.
Yes. So, doing our skin to skin, we've entered our golden hour, but we have to remember, like, there's also something else going, because usually with it, that maybe literally it's only been like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes,
Maybe 5.
maybe 5 tops, you know, but now we got to deliver our placenta.
Yes.
And a lot of people, they're just like, But what is it like? Especially if they were unmedicated, they're just like, you started your uterus is starting that cramping, again,
and they're like, I'm feeling it and pushing it, and it's like, okay, good.
your placenta's right here. Your placenta's probably ready to come out.
Yes.
So with delivering your placenta, I will let you. How do you like your most moms will get
Pitocin.
Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't say that just now. Most moms will get Pitocin via IV.
Yes.
And the Pitocin is used to help that uterus start to contract back down to its trying to get back to that pre-baby, pre-baby size.
I as long as there are like no other risk factors involved, typically I will do PIT post placenta.
Mm-hmm.
I have, in my nursing experience, I have seen where we give PIT just a little bit too early, and the uterus kind of like clamps down with the placenta still inside,
and now it don't want to come.
And now it don't want to come out. And so to avoid that, number one, you have 30 minutes to get that placenta out.
Yes.
Period. From the time that baby comes out, the toes come out, or the head, or whatever remaining part of the baby.
Whatever came out last.
From that moment, you have 30 minutes. Mm-hmm. And so typically, if everything looks good, I may even like look and see if you have any tears, or if you do, like maybe we'll repair it if your placenta is not ready to come.
I've literally seen providers do like an entire repair. And then it's like, oh, here comes your placenta. And it just comes out and it's like, okay.
There are a couple of signs that show that your placenta is about to release. You will get like a big gush of blood that comes out. The cord will get longer and skinnier. As well as, I just got so distracted.
Yeah.
As well as the uterus itself changes shape when the placenta starts to come out. And so like if you have your hand on it, you can kind of feel it, but if you don't, it's fine. Either way, I kind of watch and wait for those signs to occur before I go like trying to get your placenta out.
Yeah.
I personally do gentle cord traction and have the mama push, because a lot of times they feel it. They feel that like, oh, I need to push again.
Yeah, like they feel like literally like that pressure is right there again. Yeah.
And then I just kind of like guide it out so it doesn't flop all over the floor.
Because it will.
It will. And then blood will be everywhere. And
now we got a mess.
Now we got a mess. Yeah. But I will usually like with a clamp or something, just hang on to the cord a little bit and just kind of guide it out into my bucket. And then I'll ask for Pitocin.
Yeah. Now there are certain instances where Pitocin, like either we might have lost our IV in.
I had a water birth last night. Which it typically happens with water births, right?
The water births are like
shower, you're moving, you're sweating.
Yeah.
She ended up, her IV was hanging on literally by a piece of tape, like. And she had been asking, she had been begging, please, can we take this out? Please, can we take this out? But she was a ultrasound guided IV, and we really didn't want to lose it.
Yeah.
If we didn't need to.
For the people at home, ultrasound guided IVs are typically done on someone who we can't literally feel or see anything with the naked eye.
Yes.
So we have to take an ultrasound literally like to the skin to there's a special ultrasound that we use to find a vein and use that as our guide to get that person an IV.
Shout out to Jennifer Hamilton for that. She did that.
My personal favorite is now the posterior forearm.
Like wrap that arm across.
It's always been my favorite, but it usually wasn't my go-to. Now,
oh no, that's my.
Now it's just like normally I just close my eyes and I'm like, yep, there it is, and I'm just. I would say shout out to Natalie Deal.
I was going to say Natalie Deal taught me too.
Taught me that years and years ago. Thanks, Nat, because I never forgot it.
Yeah,
that's my favorite too. It's my favorite. So we got our.
Anyway, we got PIT going. If we do not have an IV, like she did not last night, granted, she did not necessarily need PIT, and it was in her birth plan that she didn't want it. So she is a unicorn in a very special case. However, normal my standard of practice is to get some kind of pit on board just to help your uterus clamp down. We don't want you bleeding after you have a baby.
Yeah.
So Pitocin can either be given IM, which is intramuscular, so like a shots.
Yeah. Usually in like, I use for the leg.
Yeah, and the thigh. You can do it intramuscular, or you can give it IV. Typically, if you have an IV and we can save you a stick, we'll give it to you.
Right.
But in her case, we ended up giving it IM. She did have a little excess bleeding going on, and so we talked about it. We talked about the risk and the benefits of both. And she was okay with getting IM Pitocin and some aggressive fundal rubs.
Yeah. I actually had that a few months ago, a patient who didn't want an IV, and she was unmedicated and delivered just fine. But just it wasn't even right during the golden hour. It was a little bit after I'd done a couple fundal massages, and I was like, it's a little heavier than I would like. I was getting like a couple clots.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, I really think just one good shot, just one IM Pitocin would really just fix all of this.
Great.
And she was totally fine with it. And literally, like, the next check, I could already tell. I was like, oh, that's really all we needed. That's all we needed, just a little bit of help to kind of get that.
Especially if, like, your baby is not latching right away.
Mm-hmm. And having that
Pitocin,
oxytocin, getting that going anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's I'm a good. I am.
Yeah.
Right in the leg.
Hey there, wonderful listeners. It's Briea here, one of your hosts for the Laborhood Podcast, and we've got some incredible news to share with you today. The Laborhood is now proudly a Kindred Bravely ambassador. But what's Kindred Bravely, you ask? Well, let me tell you about this amazing company that's all about supporting moms just like you. Kindred Bravely is a brand built on love that's poured into every single piece of clothing they create. Their meticulously designed clothes are here to make your journey through motherhood a little easier, from the bump to breastfeeding and beyond. Because let's face it, mama, you deserve to look and feel great all the time. Kindred Bravely understands that, and they're here for you every step of the way. Now, here's the exciting part. We have a special offer just for you, our incredible community. When you shop with Kindred Bravely using our unique code, you'll get an amazing 15% off your purchase. That's right, 15% off. So how do you claim this offer? It's simple. Just visit and use our code LaborhoodP15 and shop till you drop. At checkout, be sure to use the unique code LaborhoodP15 to unlock those savings.
Like I said, it's a lot of simultaneous.
It's a lot of little
things going on, because as a provider, Shay's getting your placenta out. As the primary nurse, I might be charting, I might be banding you and the baby. After that, I'm listening to the baby, listening to heart, lungs, and I'm getting a temperature to make sure if baby is on you, making sure that it's warm enough, because if it's not, then I can do some things like maybe give you an extra warm blanket, maybe even change the hat, because sometimes that first hat gets wet, and if baby has a lot of hair, the hat's wet, and now the baby's like, oh, it's a little chilly under here. So I'll just, change the hat, put a nice dry hat on baby.
Yeah.
So again, it's
a lot of
it's actually a very process.
Yeah,
like the mama doesn't even know that
all of this
17 things are happening here right now, but I think that's just how we've learned, and that's our the workflow kind of goes there. So speaking of eyes and thighs, so that's how we say it. We say eyes and thighs.
Fine.
But so it's the erythromycin antibiotic ointment. So if you've ever seen the baby and the baby just looks kind of greasy about the eyes, that's what it is. That's the erythromycin ointment. So erythromycin ointment has the same active ingredients as Neosporin. That's how I usually explain it to my mamas. And it's just to prevent any infection that came out. I actually looked on the back of it. I was like, erythromycin. And I went to Neosporin. Great.
Oh, okay.
So same.
I was going to say, where did you find that?
I read it on the back of each packet.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
Yeah, so same active ingredients to prevent any infection, just like we do with Neosporin, if you have a cat or something like that. You have the vitamin K, the vitamin K shot, which is to help cover baby for that first, I think it's like 6 months until they're...
Not quite 6 months.
Is it less than that?
Mm-hmm. They start. It's usually about 14 days.
But is it enough to like? Is that when it starts?
Yes.
Okay, so that's when it starts.
That's what
okay.
we give it
Like to cover them because
yes, babies don't produce their own clotting factors,
which is what vitamin K does.
Which is vitamin K.
Yeah.
And so they don't start producing clotting factors. Their blood doesn't attempt to clot on its own until that 14-day mark. And so, that's a long time between having a baby and
your baby could like bump his head or anything
like even like coming down out of the birth canal too fast. Like you went from 4 to complete and had a baby in like 10 minutes and the babies come out and they're all bruised and everything. Like we give vitamin K to help their blood
until their own
clotting factors can like take over. According to the American Academy for Pediatrics, there we go, the AAP.
Yeah.
They are like our ACOG. They're the gold standard for the babies.
For the peds.
I lost my train of thought. Jeez.
What they say about vitamin K?
Oh, that the injection form of the vitamin K is the most efficient.
Yes.
Way.
I know exactly where you're headed with that.
It's the most efficient way to get those clotting factors going.
Yes.
Some people attempt to do oral, but the body doesn't like process it as well.
Right. And
it takes quick.
And it takes longer.
Yes. And you have to do it more often.
Which I think it sounds good. So like, oh, I don't want to stick my baby, but that's something that you have to remember to do, however many times you have to do it to get the same effect as the one shot.
Yeah.
And I think it sounds good, but like once you're home and you're doing all these other things with the baby, it's like, oh shoot, we forgot to get the vitamin K today. It's just one extra thing that you have to remember. Right. And so it's like, I don't know. My birth preference, knock it out while we're here.
Yeah. And then they're not going to remember it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times they don't even know that they've gotten the vitamin K. It's the Hep B.
The Hep B is the one thing's a little bit
because it's cold. But a lot of times they don't even know that they've been stuck for the vitamin K. They're just kind of like,
yeah.
What is it?
And see, here's the thing about here's where I go back to my like kicks in because you can do it skin to skin.
Yes.
As the nurse, I leave my baby skin to skin while I'm doing eyes and thighs because in my practice over the last, 7 years I've been doing this, I see a vast difference in how that baby reacts when they're over in the warmer versus when they're with the mama. I had it happen last night, literally. Did my first one, and he was like, and that was it. I was like, that ain't even hurt. Like, you ain't even watched. You ain't even know I did that. Yeah. And then went and did the Hep B. Of course, like you said, they feel the Hep B a little more. But even then, like, I mean, maybe 20 seconds.
It's day.
And then he was like, and then he was over it. And I was like, skin to skin. So for me and my birth preference, I would like for things like that to be done skin to skin. Anything that can be done skin to skin, I would like it done skin to skin. And you can always ask.
Right.
Of course. And, if, you see the nurse coming in, she's saying, oh, I'm going to do, baby's first shots or things like that. You can say, hey, do you mind if we do it skin to skin?
Yeah.
And usually the nurse, we don't, they're fine. You're fine. You're like, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't have to move the baby. That's fine. I'll come right to you and we'll do it.
And a lot of times I think people are like, I want everything done with my eyes on my child.
Right.
That's fine. Because let me tell you, we don't want to take your baby home.
I don't. Yeah. And
that baby is all yours, baby. We're not going to put
your baby in the exact same right. Like, I don't want to mess up. No. I'm totally fine doing if, this isn't my thing because I don't do this very often. Bath, whatever you want done in the room.
Baby, I've only done this once and I was at a smaller hospital and that's how they did it. And I was like, that's perfectly fine by me.
Yeah.
The bath basins that we give mamas to wash up in.
Yeah.
They put it in the middle of the bed.
I've seen that.
And bathed the baby right there with the mama. And really the mama bathed the baby. We was just there to facilitate the facilitation.
Yeah.
And I said,
that's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah. As much as I can do right there I'll do it.
Yeah.
I mean, yes.
Okay.
So,
Back to the vitamin K. Yeah. Vitamin K, like I said, it helps stimulate those clotting factors for the babies. It helps prevent like brain bleeds. These babies are coming down head first.
and we got to remember that skull is not our skull.
Right. Their bones are soft to be able to navigate the birth canal.
Yeah.
And so things get mushed together sometimes. Like I said earlier, like if they come down too fast and they have like bruising on their face.
Hey, you can tell they're
They hit that pubic bone like
just face just hurt.
Yeah. But also like if you want to have your baby circumcised,
You have to get vitamin K.
have to have vitamin K.
Pediatricians or even OBs will not do it if the baby has not had the vitamin K, because again, we don't want to go cutting on this baby and the clotting factors aren't there yet.
Yeah.
Aren't there yet. So yeah, you have to have the vitamin K on board. And then of course Hep B. I've seen some, standard, we usually give them both right there at the same time. They get that first of the hepatitis B series at the hospital.
Yep.
I've seen some parents push it out to the first pediatrician
visit.
appointment, which is like 2 days after birth or whatever.
Yeah.
So I've seen some parents, kind of push it out to that, that point.
Mm-hmm.
Some don't want it at all, which is, again, that's totally your choice. So
You do have to have it if you go to public.
yeah, you do have to have it.
So if you plan on putting your child in some kind of public school or some county ran something or other, they're going to have.
They do have to have this. Is it 3 before they go to school?
Yes.
3.
So they'll get that first one at birth. Preferably.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they'll get another one like 8 weeks and then 4 to 6 and then another 8 weeks out from that one.
Yeah.
So they have all of their shots by the time they go to kindergarten.
So again, it's kind of crazy because even though we've talked about all this stuff, we're usually still right there within the
the first minute to the hour. Really,
we're still in the hour. So we switched to baby, kind of talking about what's happening with baby in that hour. But also while this is happening, mamas are getting something that they don't really enjoy, especially if you are 1, unmedicated, and 2, your epidural is starting to wear off, or even if you've had a section. And that's we say it's a massage.
Let me just no, because that's sexist. Never mind.
None of that on
Never mind.
We're doing our fundal massages. And
have the nerve to call that a massage.
I know, and it's not. It's not.
It is.
It is. It just doesn't feel like the massage that you think it is in your head. So literally what we're doing as providers, as nurses, is we are assessing not only the amount of bleeding that you're having when we, quote unquote, massage your uterus. We usually like lean you back so we can get a good feel of where the uterus. We're also measuring how far or how high up or how low it is.
Right.
Because again, we want to make sure that we are working our way back towards pre-baby uterus.
Correct.
So we want to make sure it's nice and firm. It's not boggy. Because boggy can mean like we have to do a little extra. It might be a clot or somewhere in it that we need to get out.
Inside. So, fun little tidbit learned in midwifery school. When your placenta detaches, your body essentially tries to create a scab over
where the
placenta was.
Right.
Right. But if your body is not doing that, you will continue to bleed. Think about like if you ever get like scraped on like the sidewalk or anything, and you hold pressure and then like it kind of goes away.
Mm-hmm.
The bleeding stops when you hold pressure on wherever you're bleeding from.
The pressure is the fundal.
The pressure is the fundal massage.
Mind blown.
Yep.
Mind blown.
Yeah. I was like, a scab. Yes.
That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. So yes, we want to do those fundal massages. Again, they're not really massages, and they can be uncomfortable, especially as that epidural starts to wear off, or if you were unmedicated, you feel everything. We don't do it to be mean, I swear. And usually if I can assess and be like, you like it firm.
I was about to say, if it feels nice and firm, it doesn't have to be an aggressive massage.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, if your uterus is, we don't know. like it's supposed to feel like a grapefruit underneath your, like right underneath your belly button for that first hour to 24 hours.
Yeah.
If I don't feel that, and when I do press on your belly, you are like with blood and clot.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna have to be a little bit
I'm
more.
gonna say, all right, mama, you gotta take a good deep breath, and I'm just
because
sometimes
you need the pressure,
full pressure on her.
Yes.
So I support it at that pubic bone,
right.
but like then I'm just like, and they don't like it, but you would much rather have this than the provider having to now put on a glove.
Because baby, you do not want me to
manually.
Not that I was about to say, not that blind sweeping is.
Yeah, but you don't want
it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. Who wants? We just stretched this muscle for 9 months, and now it's supposed to go back to the way it was. No, it's uncomfortable.
It is.
And you would much, like she said, you would much rather me do an external aggressive fundal massage,
because usually you don't need a bunch of those. If I get especially if there's a clot in there, once I get a good massage and that clot comes out, typically I don't have to like be as aggressive those next couple of times. So sometimes it's just like I apologize so many times, like I'm so sorry, just bear with me. Let me just get one good massage in, and I think breath and just let it out that thing out. Just let it out. Just let it out. So want to get that good massage in, so that we can prevent us having to do other things if we don't get the bleeding to, slow down a bit.
Right.
Yeah. So, fundal massages, not, the most fun massage that you've probably had, but unfortunately they are necessary to make sure you are safe and getting back to like where you need to be. Yeah. Really. So, fundal massages, we typically do them about every 15 minutes for that first hour, just to assess, bleeding. If we're not,
it depends. It's hospital policy.
Yeah.
It is a hospital policy. Usually every 15 minutes for that first hour.
So
I have worked at a facility where it's every 15 minutes for 2 hours, and then the 30, and then the hour, and then
they kind of start to space out.
Yeah. But like find out what your hospital does.
Yeah. And that's the nurse. She'll tell you.
Yeah, the nurse will tell you.
We're like, oh, usually they're just like, how many more times do you have to do this?
Like, all right, I've done it twice.
We're only on time number 2, so I have a few more to go. And typically, we might have to add on a few more at the end. Like sometimes I'll be like, okay, I only have to do it every 15 minutes for an hour. But then on the third one, I got, a clot that was like this. I was like, okay, maybe
about your fist or bigger.
Yeah, it's like, okay, maybe I have to tack on a couple more. Yeah, just to make sure, that we're doing what we need to do.
Right.
So once we've kind of like we've hit like the hour mark, if you were epiduralized, we've been assessing your feeling in your legs.
Can you wiggle your toes? Can you twerk?
And can you lift your butt up off the bed?
Yep.
If all those things are starting to wake up, those legs are starting to wake up, you're like, it feels like, I'm tingly. Then we kind of start getting you cleaned up, because by this time you're stable enough for us to transfer you to your postpartum. And it depends on the facility. Sometimes it's the room that you're in. We kind of transform that room into, your postpartum room. Or depending on the facility, which those facilities are called LDRP, which is where, labor, delivery, recovery, and postpartum are all in the same room. And then there are other facilities where it's like LDR. So labor, delivery, recovery happens in the room, and then postpartum is a completely separate room.
And if you have ever experienced a birth center, it's really LDRP. But 4 hours after you have your baby, it's like, all right, you ain't gotta go home, but
like I said, I am, I'm not my judge to like be unmedicated giving birth, but that is probably like one of the things that you could almost convince me to do it.
Really?
Almost could convince me to do it at the thought of being able, at the 4 hour mark, being able to get in my car and go home and get in my own shower, get in my own bed.
Now, mind you, these people who deliver at birth, these birthing persons who have the birth center experience, they do not have an IV. They do not have pain medication. They do not have anything on board that would make me need to monitor them for a longer period of time.
Yeah. During labor.
Yeah. During labor. So there's no IV, there's no Pitocin, there's no blah, 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 blah. There's nothing. They literally came in with their water bottle and their granola, and they are eating and
their
drinking.
lar bars. Is it lar bars? Are those things called lar bars?
Kind?
No, but there's I think they're called lar bars too.
There might be.
There are kind bars, but they're like lar bars too, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah. But they come in with like a few things just to, keep the energy.
They got like a go bag.
Yeah.
And literally, they have a baby. We do the same thing. We do the fundal massages every 15 minutes for an hour. We do the skin to skin. We do the eyes and thighs for the baby. Like, we do all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
But at their 4-hour mark, as long as their bleeding is stable and under control, they can mosey to the crib.
See that
sounds like
it sounds so nice. It sounds so nice. And I have had women who, had an epiduralized delivery the first couple of times, and then that third baby came and it was much faster and they didn't get an epidural, and they were like, yeah, the labor part was "Ugh," but the after the recovery part of being able to get up and walk on my, or it was in a hospital, so they stayed for 24 hours, but just being able to get up, I walked to the bathroom myself, I was able to move around, my legs weren't numb, just being able to right after be able to move, and you were able to feel, and I went to the bathroom on my own. She was like, if I have another one, I will most certainly do it without an epidural again.
Wow.
Yeah. She was like, that was
Sounds tempting. Not for me. But if you want to keep me overnight for 24 hours to make sure that my bleeding is okay, to make sure my baby is okay, and for the pediatrician to see my baby in-house,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
But that's Shay's birth preference.
Listen.
Because, again, if you have a birth center delivery, you do not have a pediatrician in-house.
Yeah.
So somebody will either come to your house, a postpartum checkup, or you have to wait until you go and see your pediatrician.
In was it 2 days or something?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So all of those things are factors to keep in mind when you're thinking about your birth experience and your birth preferences.
Mm-hmm. Again, it sounds tempting to be able to go home right after. And in my bed and my hotel pillows and my put on, my,
not your white sheets. You gonna have white sheets on your bed? Oh, okay.
I do like a white sheet.
I know,
but
because you got me hooked on a white sheet.
I know, but I would change them for postpartum.
Okay.
Hey everybody, this is Shay, one of your co-hosts for the Laborhood Podcast, and I'm thrilled to share some exciting news with our incredible listeners today. The Laborhood is now an Amazon influencer, and I couldn't be more excited to introduce you to our very own Amazon storefront. You might be wondering, what is an Amazon influencer and how it impacts or benefits you? But I'm here to provide you with hand-picked recommendations for products we truly believe in and use in my everyday role as a baby catcher. Our storefront is a carefully curated collection of items that I found to be incredibly valuable for both the birthing person and their precious babe. From essentials for new moms to must-haves for those special moments during childbirth, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. When you shop our storefront, you're not only getting access to tried and true products, but you're also supporting the Laborhood Podcast. Your purchases through our storefront help us continue our mission of advocating for maternal health and empowering birthing persons. Plus, I want to be fully transparent with our amazing community. So when you make a purchase through our Amazon storefront, we may earn a small commission from Amazon as a part of being an Amazon influencer in their program. So not only do you get fantastic products that I personally recommend, but you also contribute to our efforts to make a positive impact in the world of maternal health. To start shopping and explore our hand-picked selection, simply visit www.amazon.com/shop/Laborhood Podcast. Or you can click the link in the episode description or link in our bio. Don't miss out on these incredible finds that can enhance your birthing experience and support new parents on their journey. Thank you for being a part of the Laborhood gang and for helping us make a meaningful difference in maternal health care. All right, let's get back to this.
So now, yeah, we talked about this, but again, that's why we use those devices.
Also, if your hospital allows it, this is to my nurses, if your hospital allows it, keep an ammonia packet on your badge.
I love those things.
keep an ammonia packet on your bed. It's so heavy. Crap. Smelled it. They put it right under their nose. They're just like, oh. I know. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up!
Girl, get up. Girl, get up. I'm begging for you to get up. I'm pleading for you to get up. Girl, get up. Please, get up. We need you to get up. So, yes, you know, they take a little extra time, but
Get your device, whether it's a Steady, or even just another nurse.
yeah,
Like, hey, I'm about to get her up to the bathroom. Will you just stand by? And also, this is something else that I don't play as a nurse. Once I put you on that toilet, we're about to come real close because I'm not leaving.
say, I am not leaving. I am not leaving that bathroom.
I'm not leaving.
And I'm like,
Are you pee shy?
that's what I was about to say. I will pee shy. I will stand with the door cracked. The door's still open, but I'm like peeking in on you. How you feel?
Yeah.
All right.
You all right? Mom, you okay? Yeah, okay. Okay.
And mind you, pee shyness is a thing because I have it. But once you deliver a baby, most women are like, no, I'm not pee shy. Like, girl, you done seen all my goodies. Yeah, you've seen everything. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yes, I will. No, I'm not leaving that room. I don't. That's to the nurses. Y'all do not leave that room.
Don't leave it.
Doesn't it take one time for your mama to clock her head on the side of that sink because she didn't pass out? I've had a daddy pass out and break his nose. So
I know because I've had a mama, like, you know, the rail.
yeah,
Ding. Like, I said, oh, God, come on. Now, again, had a pneumonia. Just, But I had to, like, stir rope her. Like, she was, and thankfully I had to stay, though, because, listen, once I hit my emergency and my helpers came in, we just lifted her up and put her back on the steady and zoomed her to the bed because, she was coming around. But yeah, I literally just head roll, eyes in the back, just, yeah, I had that happen.
Don't leave the bathroom.
Don't leave
Do not leave the bathroom. And you know what? If you sketchy and your epidural is still kind of hanging on a little bit, just in and out.
You can do that, or a bedpan. Because that's the perfect time. You can get her cleaned up. You can do all that, right there. So usually we get mamas to the bathroom, try to get them to use it.
We have to wake your bladder up, whether you have an epidural or not.
Yeah.
Your bladder kind of goes to sleep to birth this baby, but we have to make sure that it wakes back up. And so that's why we want you to go. And it's important because if your bladder is full, it can cause your uterus to stay boggy.
Because you have to think about where these things are in proximity to each other.
Right.
So if your bladder is growing because it's full of urine, your uterus can't come back down because there's no space there. So it's causing your uterus to okay, girl, I'm trying to clamp back down, but your bladder's in the way. So
yes,
we got to get her empty because if not, I'm also filling up. Yeah, I'm also filling up here. Yeah. So we all got to stay empty so that uterus can clamp back down.
All right. So that's why we get you up to go to the bathroom. We need to re-stimulate the bladders so that you can pee, so that your uterus does not get full, so that you do not bleed.
Yeah.
You do not have a postpartum.
And sometimes if my mom was unmedicated, obviously, if the bleeding's been fine, I might, if she says she doesn't have to pee, I'm like, okay, well, your muscles typically aren't, super asleep. And if your bleeding's fine, and because I'm assessing the height of your uterus,
right?
And if I can tell that uterus is still well below your belly button, I'm like, okay, bladder's probably not full just yet. But usually by the time we get moving and we get to postpartum, and your body has started to, those fluids have started to shift, and you start to diurese. Usually by the time we get to postpartum, they're like, I gotta pee now. So, which again is perfect. I let them go to the bathroom because again, we want to keep that bladder nice and empty,
right?
To leave that uterus room to clamp back down. So yeah, we covered a lot. That was a good recovery. That was a good recovery. And
beautiful.
Yeah, it was. So, we talked about that first bathroom. That's our recovery because by now we're getting in the wheelchair
and we're about to go to postpartum.
Baby's all wrapped. It's in mama's arms, and dad's grabbing all the bags, whatever you might have bought in. Sometimes it's a whole, brick box, but we'll talk about We will cover that later. Trust me about what you should be bringing to L&D.
Yes.
I will say at the top of the list of things you don't need, your stroller.
Your car seat.
Don't need those things. You don't need those things here.
Do not bring your car seat in the Graco box because that's how it was delivered to your house. Don't bring the hospital.
You don't need it. Not right now.
All right.
But that's the big takeaway. You don't need your car seat or your stroller. It's very cute. I like it. I actually took notes because I really like the way it looks. However, you just did it. You don't need it here. Don't need to hear. But again, that's fine. We'll say that's coming up down the pipeline of things you will and will not need in labor and delivery.
Stuff.
So that covers our Snuggles and Cuddles. Yeah. We took in all of our cuddle time. I guess if I could say one thing to mamas, it's don't be afraid to make that time as intimate as possible. Whether it's your mom, your whoever, if you want that time, tell them people to go wait in the waiting room. Tell them to go get you some food. I'm going to tell somebody to go to American Deli for me.
I'm weak. It's American Deli.
Because by the time I get to postpartum, I'm going to want a 10-piece hot pepper off land.
After y'all go in and drop these babies, these beautiful, beautiful babies.
Little pumpkin.
No, and for fall.
Little pumpkin.
Little pumpkin. Anyways, after y'all go and blow out these babies, you can have literally whatever you want to eat.
Yeah, so if you want sushi that you haven't had,
I was about to say,
a good
baby, you want a Jersey Mike? You want a cold cut?
Let me get a clam Mike's Way.
What if you were like gestational diabetic? Baby, I don't care what you eat. You can have a Maxi B slice of cake with a milkshake for all I care. Whatever you want, that is your push gift. If you want a ribeye, oh, that would be rocking. With some garlic mashed potatoes.
Rocking, girl, eat it. Eat that.
Eat it.
But now that's a good way to like get your family too.
And be like, I tell people, well, around our hospital was a cookout, and the cookout stay open till 3. And be like, it's all right, it's 2:30. Write your order down. I was going to say, go get my girl her cookout tray, okay? Write your order down, babe. Go with her hand on milkshake if she want it. Go get my girl her
Oreo cheesecake, extra cheesecake. You know, whatever floats your boat at that time. That's a good time. That's a good way to get, because again, like I said, I think that should be just super, super intimate. Like, take that first hour, because you probably won't be alone, and at your baby's first hour of life, you will never get this back. You will never get this moment. And it flies by. It flies by, because literally when the timer goes off for the hour, I'm like, okay, the baby's an hour old. And they're like, already? It flies. It flies. So take advantage and make that moment as intimate as possible. Take 1,700 pictures. Whatever you want to do it in that moment, because it makes it super special. And you will never get this moment back. So bask in it.
I love it. Bask in this moment. Are you about to cry? You look a little cute, bro.
It's probably just I'm tired. It's fine. I'm probably just tired. It's fine.
All right. As always, guys, you can find us at the Laborhood Pod on everything.
Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. This is the picture that you'll see. So you'll know that it's us. You can go to our website, thelaborhoodpod.com. where we have where you can like links to like all the things that we talk about, and
where we get our research from.
Yeah, so you'll find links to like if you heard us talk about something, whether it's like A1, ACOG,
AAP,
Cleveland Clinic is one of my favorites.
Mayo Clinic,
Cleveland Clinic,
Cleveland.org.
There you'll find those links there. You'll find our LinkedIn's, what kind of about me and Shay, especially if you're new here and you're like, I don't really know if they know what they're talking about. It's there on our website. You can go to our About Us. It kind of tells you our backgrounds and what we do, and all the things that we have coming down the pipeline, like merchandise and our Amazon storefront.
Yeah, because all of y'all be asking me about my green shoes to the point where it is actually sold out. But They should be coming back in stock within like the next week or so. So make sure you go and get your green clogs, guys.
Yeah, so things that me and Shay like use at work, not just for like mamas and babies, but like things that we use like nurse wise, like the tools and things that we use to get our job done the best way we can. So as always, I'm Briea. I am your nationally certified inpatient obstetrics nurse.
I'm Shay. I'm your board certified nurse midwife.
And I think we wrapped up. You're free to go,
guys.
Bye.